So, in a world that's just completely obsessed with AI and efficiency, have you ever stopped to ask, what's art really for? I mean, is it just, decoration? Or is it something much, much deeper? Something essential to who we are? Well, today, we're going to dig in and find out.
You've heard this a million times, right? Art is a luxury. It's just a garnish, this nice little dusting of sugar on top of the tough pill of reality. Something you hang on a wall if you have the time and money. But what if that whole idea isn't just wrong? What if it's a genuinely dangerous misunderstanding of what makes us human? That's the idea we're challenging head-on today.
Yeah, see, this isn't just about getting it a little bit wrong. The source material for this explainer calls it a profound diagnostic error. Think about that. It's like misdiagnosing a serious illness. It's a deep, fundamental misunderstanding of ourselves, and it has some pretty serious consequences for all of us.
So here's the big idea we're unpacking. Art is not a luxury. It's the primary infrastructure for human meaning. I mean, think about that. In this age of AI, this is our most durable human advantage. It's the one thing machines just can't replicate. It's like putting on a pair of corrective lenses. It helps us see the world clearly through all the digital noise. Okay, this leads us right into our first big revelation, and it's a total shift in perspective. We tend to think of artists as just making things up, right? Inventing whole new worlds from scratch. But what if the greatest art isn't an active invention at all? What if it's actually an active discovery?
This is where a big concept comes in called ontological revelation. Now, that sounds complicated, but the idea is actually pretty simple. It's the notion that the greatest artists aren't really inventors. They're more like explorers. They don't just create something out of thin air. They see a hidden order, a structure that already exists in the world, and they reveal it to the rest of us. They're helping us see what's already there. And this act of knowing has this massive ripple effect on all of society. Art is often the very first signal of a major change. You could say artists are our early warning sensors. Their work starts by shifting how we even imagine the future. That in turn changes our values, what we hold dear as a society. And from there, our institutions adapt to those new values. And eventually, even our laws change to formalize it all. It means a decline in real art. Well, that's a symptom of much deeper problems on the horizon.
All right, so let's zoom in a bit. We've been talking at the level of civilization, but now let's get personal and talk about our own brains. We're going to look at what's actually happening inside your head when you engage with art, and, more importantly, why this is so critical for your career in this new age of AI.
So it turns out that looking at a piece of art is, it's anything but a passive activity. In fact, neuroscience shows us it's a high-intensity workout for your brain. It's lighting up five distinct systems all at the same time.
So when you're looking at a piece of art, your brain is just on fire. It's recognizing patterns, it's processing emotions, it's trying to build a narrative or a story around what it sees. It's thinking in abstract terms, and it's even priming your motor coordination, getting you ready for physical movement. This mental gymnastics routine, it builds what researchers call cognitive resilience and a tolerance for ambiguity. Basically, it trains you to see the hidden connections that raw data alone will never show you.
And here's the bottom line. This is the big so what. The mental fitness you get from seriously engaging with art, that ability to synthesize meaning, to navigate complexity, that is your durable human advantage. These are precisely the skills that AI cannot easily replicate. This makes art not just a nice-to-have, but a practical, professional necessity for survival.
So, for our third revelation, we're going to talk about something that might sound a little counterintuitive. In a world that is completely obsessed with making everything easy, instant, and frictionless, we're about to make the case for struggle, for resistance, for the absolute undeniable necessity of friction.
Just look at the comparison here. On one side, you have manual craft. Yeah, it's hard, it takes time, but that very struggle is what builds depth, mastery, and precision of thought. The source material calls this the compound interest of the soul. I love that. Then on the other side, you've got frictionless AI. It's instant, it's designed for viral replication, it's all about speed. But the results? They're often shallow, disposable. See, when you remove the friction, you might just be removing the very thing that creates lasting value.
And this leads to a pretty stark warning. It's simple. If you build only for algorithms, your work will age at algorithm speed. Think about that. If you optimize everything you do for the speed of the algorithm, for that quick hit of virality, your work is going to become obsolete just as fast. True mastery, the kind that lasts, it requires the very friction that so much of our technology promises to eliminate. Okay, so we've seen that art is a way of knowing.
it's a workout for the brain, and that it actually requires friction to have any real depth. But how can we learn to see it more clearly? How do we engage with it? Well, that brings us to our final revelation, a really practical framework for understanding and engaging with beauty.
We can use a simple but incredibly powerful tool to evaluate pretty much any work of art. It's called the triadic unity of love, life, and light. Now, these aren't just some fuzzy, abstract ideas. They are concrete principles you can use to tell the difference between art that just entertains you for a second and art that genuinely elevates you.
So here's how you actually use it. First, you ask, is it rooted in love? Does it feel like a genuine gift to you, the audience, or is it just a kind of narcissistic self-display for the creator? Second, does it have life? Can you feel a pulse in it, a rhythm that makes it feel vital and not just mechanical or stagnant? And finally, does it bring light? Does it manage to bring some kind of order out of chaos? Does it make some essential truth about the world more intelligible, more clear?
So, where does all this leave us? I mean, all of these revelations really point toward one thing: a personal and a collective recovery of purpose. And that's going to require us to fundamentally change how we think about and how we interact with the entire world of art and meaning. So let's really try to move beyond this idea of art as just passive consumption. Something you just scroll past on your phone. It's not. It's an active participation in truth. Meaning isn't something we just invent out of thin air. It's something we discover through disciplined, thoughtful engagement with the world. And let's be absolutely clear about the stakes here. In our age of constant information overload, it's so easy to think that more data is the answer to our problems. But it's not. Civilizations aren't saved by information alone. They are stabilized by the shared meaning that's transmitted through story, through image, and through form. So, I'm going to leave you with a question to really think about. Take a hard look at the media you consume every single day. The stories, the music, the images. Ask yourself, does this work expand my understanding of reality, or does it just flatten my experience into repetitive, predictable, algorithmic stimulation? The choice, as always, is yours.